Well, welcome back, everyone. Here we are in Global Love Day, May 1st, celebrating our humanity. And our next guest is going to be our beloved board member, Lanis Loveday Chidell. Welcome, Lanis.
Glad to be here.
It's so cool to be able to be celebrating virtually and live all around the world with our board members this year. It's kind of one of the benefits of all the strangeness that's been happening.
Yes, and we've really come a long way too from back in the early days.
And we started out together in Tampa, but now that we're in Orlando and you're in Tampa, although we could be physically, we would still probably be a bit distant. So it's fun to be able to do this virtually and with you today.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, same questions I'm asking our fellow board members of the Love Foundation here on Global Love Day to kind of give insight as to why our board loves the Love Foundation and why they love Global Love Day and why they've been supporting us for so many years with their talent and their expertise and their just vibrant energy. The basic question we always like to start with is, what does unconditional love mean to you?
Oh, unconditional.
Where do we begin, huh?
Yes, right. I think it's a peaceful expression of creativity and understanding, compassion, and it's eternal. It's like this unlimited way of being, so to speak. I think that's the perfect. Where did I hear that before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful to tap into that because it's beyond all kind of love. It's like the king of love.
The king, queen, the jack, the joker.
Yeah, it's the
ace,
whole,
the 1, 2, 3.
The whole deck.
Yeah.
It's the whole deck of cards.
So we obviously go back many years, and we've been sharing this journey consciously in this lifetime, sharing the love and sharing particularly Global Love Day, because you've been there from the very first Global Love Day we started in 2004. Can you tell our audience today that's listening in a little bit, like, when did unconditional love kind of come to you as a realization, and how you've kind of made that your life's intention perspective?
Well, it's very interesting that you asked me that because I was trying to think about how I connected to the Love Foundation at the early start. And of course, you might recall the young boy that was very, very tiny, but he was 16 years old, and his mother was taking care of him. And my family was trying to help them to get services and resources to help them because she couldn't work, and she was there to stay with him until he died, until he transitioned. And that was Charlotte and Ryan.
Yep.
And I was seeking out organizations, and I think the first thing that I could really think about how to describe them, and especially Ryan, meeting him, was unconditional love. And I even wrote a little passage in that book that we shared, The Soul Graffiti, about the story about Ryan. So that really impacted me. Prior to that, going to in 2001, going to New York with my daughter and my best friend. We went up there after 9/11, and we went up there on a mission to basically hug people. We're passing out T-shirts and artwork, posters and stuff, but we were there to just go around and hug people. And I think from that just opened me up. I didn't really have a word for what that was, except it was just me. It felt like I needed to do that. And so it was very wonderful for Cindy and for my daughter, Jennifer. But then I sent an email to you. I put in basically unconditional love, and up pops this organization. And then I realized you were in Tampa. And then I think afterwards you called me, and then we met. And
we
then
went and had coffee.
Yes, we forever. And I showed you all these pictures of Ryan and Charlotte and their family, and just telling you that story. And, as it turned out, it just opened up so many things. And I thank Ryan for that.
Yes.
I think
And as I
Ryan and
recall,
Charles
because
did that.
clearly that was our original connection. And I distinctly remember how you spoke of Ryan being in his presence in his completely total disability, incapacitated state, where he couldn't speak, he couldn't move, and yet he emanated this pure unconditional love. You saw it in his eyes and you felt it in his presence. And I remember distinctly that's what touched you so deeply, like, because here we are gifted with all the ability to move about in our reality, and you don't really encounter an experience of unconditional love, and yet some bold, beautiful soul is completely crippled by his body, can't move, and yet is emanating pure unconditional love. And I think
That's what it was.
it touched
Yes.
both of us
Yeah.
so profoundly. And in many ways, meeting you, as we will segue into this, meeting you was more or less right before we got this brilliant idea of Global Love Day each May 1st. And I'll let you say, what's your favorite aspect about Global Love Day? Because you were there from the beginning and all those pre-plannings, and you have a particular affinity to Global Love Day.
Yes, in fact, I've said many times, I'm just trying to figure out how to change my first name to Global.
As you might see in those watching, Lanis Love Day is her maiden name. I think the universe orchestrated us to meet, especially leading into Global Love Day. Maybe that is exactly where the inspiration, maybe it was supposed to be a day about Lanis, but we decided to make it a global day about humanity. So yes, you like the global part, but what you've been around since day one. What aspect of Global Love Day do you feel is the most important or brilliant or insightful or helpful to you?
I think that it's just amazing to me that it's a day that actually has been resurfaced and repackaged in a bigger, beautiful way. Because actually, my name I did some research on it because it is an unusual name. It was a day of arbitration in England in the day of when Shakespeare walked the earth. In fact, I think he, in somewhere in one of his many writings, he said, "This day shall be a love day." Uh, we don't really know what day it was on. It could have been several times a year. It could have been, I think they just picked a day, whoever they were, but they would have a day where battling castles or warring families would come together and kind of lay down their arms and have a big feast. It'd be musical, joy loving. And if there was a child that was born on that day, they actually gave it the name Love Day. It was considered a gift. And I think that is just so cool that my name came not from the carpenter or from, the people that chopped wood or, shined gold and, those type of things. It actually came from the presence of a day of arbitration where people could gather together and see themselves as one. And that baby being born, that name carried on and on and on. So that's what was so amazing when you first announced to me, about that you had this idea, and it was like, that's oh my gosh, that's what my name was all about. I said, this is so cool. And I thought that is really what was intended probably at the beginning. And this is the right time. This is the right
And we
time.
know, we're all involved with the Love Foundation. Our whole life mantra, mission, vision, mission, idea, reason we get up every day is because we love the love. So for us, love is something we explore and experience and express every day. And as you know, I've said from the very beginning, we understand this, but for the mass of humanity, we really have not taken out a day of time for a single focus of love anywhere on the planet, especially not as a totality. That's why we say love begins with me was our original tagline, and then celebrating our humanity was our second one. And they really are hand in hand, because as love begins with me, we celebrate our humanity. For us, it was a way to implement this idea, to start the dialogue somewhere. And you certainly have understood that all these years too.
Even though I got teased about my name when I was younger.
Yes. And we still will. We still actually call you Global. So in that same relationship, because obviously our meeting and then Global Love Day, we brought you as part of the board of the Love Foundation, which also, I mean, Global Love Day is the day of year that we focus on with this program, but the Love Foundation has also been very near and dear to your heart. What do you think makes the Love Foundation stand out as a nonprofit differently than other places and experiences?
I think the mission is just so incredibly simple and profound at the same time. It's just simply to inspire people, and that sounds like, oh well, you can do that without having an organization. But as an organization, I think we collectively, as the board of directors of any one of our love ambassadors, our coordinators in other countries, I think we're all on the same page. And so that's the Love Foundation page. And we can do this together in an organized manner. And we all help each other and we collaborate and we all love each other's ideas and we help expand that. And whether it's events, whether it's music, whether it's creating music, poetry, artwork, whatever, I think that the Love Foundation is a nice catalyst for this physical plane that we're on.
And somewhat selfishly, it's our way of meeting our other family members that are scattered all around the globe, because clearly that's happened.
Yes, and who would ever think, when in the early days when we first began this, thank goodness for the internet, because we were able to at least reach out that way, and everything was by email. There were no social media.
Yep.
And we would, and I remember the hundreds of pages I was coming across, like, oh, look what they're doing. Oh, look what they're doing. And I remember I was bombarding you with all these.
And we were going out to all of them because we were not just living in Tampa. And you had said, well, hey, we should get a proclamation. And here 18 years later, we have 754 proclamations that share the Global Love Day tenets and the Global Love Day vision. So you and I and John, and there are a few of us, we start from the very beginning. We've watched this evolve and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's nice to see that creative aspect of that energy. Yeah.
And then your own daughter, who you'd bring to these meetings, who was yay tall, as my hand is very close to the floor, who's now a young, beautiful adult that is just gorgeous. And I remember her, I still see her small. I still see her back at those original meeting days, sitting there with us and piping in with her early age and saying, what about this? And, very enthusiastic about it, and has been with us all along too with you. So
I remember the first picture of our Global Love Day gathering at your home. And just in that picture alone, you can see how this was going to be expanded, and how, you could see this.
There was a lot of love in that picture. And we have a lot of other pictures of events over the years. I've got some incriminating pictures of you with a lot of face paint as you were doing an event.
When I was a fairy.
You were the fairy making fairies out of all of our little ones, yes. So obviously we don't get to see each other quite as frequently. We don't get to celebrate Global Love Day in person. And these last couple of years have been rather interesting in physical distancing and everything too. But I know you celebrate Global Love Day each year coming from your heart, because you do that every day. But like this year and in years past, how have you enjoyed celebrating this specific day as kind of a ceremony for how you live the rest of your life?
I love connecting with my family. It happens to be that we gather and have an outdoor feast by my pool, and laugh, a lot of music and splashing in the water and people getting thrown in and just having fun. And it's kind of like what I would love to see the whole planet do on a regular basis, to just not be so serious and try to lighten up a little bit and enjoy themselves and their family, the people that are precious to them. The past year has been quite interesting. I've been more involved with my garden, so I will do something on every Global Love Day, as I do almost every day, as I go out and connect with nature and plant a new plant, because Mother Earth is part of this too.
Absolutely. All part of Global Love Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we all have different ways of doing it, but you have always been a family. Well, I've become part of the adopted family, so I know the whole family essentially.
Yes, I have 5 children, and soon we'll have a fifth grandchild. So that's,
Yeah,
I have more than a
and
baseball team.
yes. And we get to see all the updates and the pictures because you do share that family. But you really, of the board members, you embody that family orientation, that because you do have your extended family mostly around you, and you're kind of, the mother of the mothering parts of our, and technically speaking, I guess you kind of now have the accolade of one of our senior board members, but you are the mother image, the mother family image, and we certainly enjoy the fact that you always remind us the importance of having family and being unconditionally with ourselves and our family, and really just enjoying each precious moment that we possibly can, and not letting the other types of things intrude and take away from our joy and our happiness. So whether it's on Global Love Day or any day, you always strive to bring that understanding of unconditional love in any experience. Certainly been my experience with you when I've been around you and your family. Yeah.
Yes, I've that's been part of my life. My mom really enjoyed family gatherings and get-togethers, and it was very important that we didn't forsake that. And I see that, on a bigger scale, because humanity is our earthly family, and it would be nice to have that a collective an event, which is what
But
we're trying to do.
I was going to say, and you actually, this brings it to a perfect conclusion, because now that we've shared how we can do it on a micro scale within our own family, the reality is that the whole idea behind Global Love Day is for all of us to celebrate each other and have one big party on each May 1st, so that we just kind of come together and remember we're all on the planet together, and we're all here to help each other, and we're all here to make each other feel uplifted and feel grand and magnificent. And so you're doing it in your perfect family way today. And Global Love Day is the symbol of how we can do this on a whole planetary scale. So I certainly appreciate you coming in and stepping away from family and playing with us for a few moments and sharing your insights and your vision, and the whole reason we love you so much, because you
Oh,
are our
thank you.
global.
And it's totally mutual. Mwah.
Yes. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon with your family, and I'm
Thank
sure
you.
we'll be talking soon. But if anybody wants to find Lana, she's all over the place, and she loves to get back with people. She loves to find people that love. She is
Yes, I'm a
a
social butterfly.
self-proclaimed research director, so if you have any insights, share them with her. But Lana, so we
Look
do thank
forward
you
to
for
that.
coming out and sharing with us today, and happy Global Love Day.
Happy Global Love Day to you too, each and every day.
Yes.